Hi, it's Paul from howtoplaybassdotcom here. Got a quick lesson for you on playing through the bass line to the tune Come Together by the Beatles. This is a slightly simplified arrangement, although it is a pretty simple tune. The areas where I've simplified it there are some variations to the riff that McCartney uses, especially to mark new sections or change of sections or end of sections. Also the outro, there's some stuff that McCartney's doing which I've not covered here, but if you're a beginner you can just get by on the outro with just playing root notes in eighth notes, as I'll show you. Before we get started with the lesson, don't forget to head over to my website and sign up for the free monthly e-zine. It's going to now, I think, be a free monthly video lesson which will be unique to people who are signed up. In return for signing up, you get a series of 4 unique lessons anyway that you can't find anywhere else. The first one of which is Sex on Fire by the Kings of Leon. So do click on the link underneath the video, head over there and sign up, and you'll get put into the system for that. And let's head over to the lesson and let's look at the main riff to Come Together. So let's start with the main riff. It's such a prominent part of the tune, such a recognisable figure. Play it through the metronome and then we'll talk through the notes. 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm sure you recognise that. So, let's look at the notes. Starts off, first 2 notes are D, played here, 5th fret of the A string. Then you've got a slide from G to A, which is the 5th to the 7th fret of the D string. And then this note that gives the pattern its really recognisable sound. It's the minor third, but played an octave up, or the 10th, if you know your theory. That's F, played at the 10th fret of the G string. So you've got so far. And then the last note is the octave of D, here, at the 12th fret of the D string, and then you play that and slide back to the start of the pattern. Now what you've got to do, you're fretting there with the 4th finger, and you need to hold that note as long as possible. So you need to start sort of bringing your 3rd finger over it, and then so you can grab the D at the 12th fret of the D string, so there's no perceptible gap, like this. Okay, when you've played through that a few times and you've got it starting to get it under your fingers, then we can plug that into the verse. Okay, the verse is an 8-bar pattern. It's made up of that pattern we've just looked at in D, which you play through 4 times. Then that pattern shifts down to A. We'll look at that in a second. And then you just have 1 bar where you hold G, and then you've got a bar of, you're not playing, a bar of rest. Okay, let's look at the notes of the verse in a bit more detail. The first 4 bars are just D, so it's just that riff that we've looked at in detail. Then the next 4 bars, the easiest way for a beginner to play it, McCartney's original's got some subtle nuances, but the easiest way for a beginner to play it is just take the same bass line that you've just played, starting on D, and play it everything a string down, so starting on A. So you play. So that riff starts with 2 on the A, then you've got the slide D to E, which is 5th and 7th frets of the A string. Then you've got that distinctive top minor note, which in this case is a C, which is the 10th fret of the D string. Then you've got the slide, which is the 12th fret of the A string, which is A, the octave of A. It plays that again. And then you've got G, 3rd fret of the E string held for 4 beats, and then you've got 4 beats of rest, and that then completes the verse. And where you go from there depends on which verse it is. Verse 1 goes back to the riff, but verse 2 and verse 3, it goes to, there's like a 2-bar tag, which is under the chorus lyric. Let's go and have a look at that. Now at the end of verse 2 and of verse 3, when verse 3 comes up, we've got a 2-bar tag which is under the lyric of "Come together right now over me." So play that 2-bar tag and then we'll talk through the notes. Very easy. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it goes back into the riff, as you saw. Now, that pattern, very simple. It's 6 eighth notes on B, 7th fret of the E string. 2 eighth notes on A, which is the 5th fret of the E string. 4 eighth notes on G at the 3rd fret. And then a stab on A, 5th fret again. Then you've got a beat and a half of pause, and then you're back to the... Now, if you make notes on that and listen to it in conjunction with the original, it will all make sense. So the only other section that we really need to look at, very straightforward section, is what McCartney plays under the guitar solo. Okay, under the guitar solo, McCartney plays a very simple root note and 8th note figure. Normally I hate that kind of bass line because it's overused, and especially in a lot of contemporary kind of rock pop style of music. But in this song it works really well because it makes a really nice contrast to the melodic riff that features in most of the rest of the tune. And basically we've just got 4 bars of D in 8th notes. We switch down to 4 bars of A, again in 8th notes. They're both 5th frets. The D is the 5th fret of the A string, A 5th fret of the E string. And then when you come out of the A, you go straight back into the riff. That's pretty much all you need for the song. The only other part is on the outro. The outro in the original, if you're playing this live, your arrangement might be slightly different, but the outro on the original just vamps on the D chord. You can just play the root notes. It certainly goes away from the riff idea in the outro, or you can just throw in some variation. There's a ton of things you could do, but if you're a beginner, you can get by just with playing the root notes in that outro in an 8th note stream. So I hope that helps you learn this song and put it together and come up with a line that goes through the tune. There are a few little subtle variations on the riff in various parts of the song which I've not incorporated. Reason being that I just want to give you a straightforward formula to get through the tune. So if you do play it live, you might want to look at those. There's 2 or 3 bars where you can just throw in a little variation of the formula, or of the riff rather, to give the song just a little... It kind of marks it just before another section of the tune, so it might be worth looking at that. But other than that, you can get through the song with just those parts that I've showed you.